Welcome back to Alumni Game, the show where three Gamecocks dive into South Carolina sports, football, hoops, the NCAA, everything that comes along with it.
Where our opinions are never filtered, sometimes reasonable, and always fun.
That's right. You can check out all of those takes that we have on YouTube, Instagram, and wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on all those platforms. Settle in, y'all, and let's get started with this week's episode of Alumni
Game! Hello, all you Gamecock Nation. I'm gonna start calling Gamecock Nation. I think that's what I'm gonna do. This is Alumni Game. Welcome back to Alumni Game. We're really excited, Gamecock
Alumni
Nation,
Game.
for you. Yeah, Alumni Game, Gamecock Nation. We're excited to hear from you. Thanks for coming back in and joining us. I am the intern host, subbing in for
You're
Mike.
doing a great job. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. You are a phenomenal intern host.
I appreciate that, my friend. I do appreciate that because I heard the first episode that we did with the college basketball, and let me tell you something, Mike. We need you to come back. We miss you, buddy. I'm gonna sub in for you for this week, and appreciate all you do. I've got a new appreciation for what Mike does because I can't keep up. There's just too much going on. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be good at introductions. You can't go on a tangent like this, that's for sure. So I'm already failing as we speak. But everyone, welcome back to Alumni Game, the wonderful show where three Gamecock fans, alumni, talk Gamecock sports. We got a super episode today. We're talking the Super Bowl. I'm the intern co-host, class of '06, Sam Niedermeyer. With me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Buster Clarkson, class of '02. Buster, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Let me tell you, you are, to put it in your perspective, you are the Justin Fields to Mike's Russell Wilson for your Pittsburgh Steelers.
So
You guys are both great at what you do. Probably not as good as me. I'm probably more. No, just kidding.
you're obviously George Pickens in this threesome. Then that's what we're talking about here.
No, because I'm older. I'm going to go with I am. I'm your. Well, I don't want to say I'm your Mike Tomlin because I don't know how you feel about him after this year. But I will be your Nick Sirianni, Steve Spagnuolo, Andy Reid coach, kind of help you guys along as the older guy. But no, I you know, your boys, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, did make the playoffs this year. So that means that they're not bad, which means you're not bad, and you have done a fantabulous job.
Would you describe me as pretty not bad? Is that what you're saying? I'll take that.
And I did. I was hoping you weren't going to figure that out, but yeah.
We're talking Super Bowl today. We had a really
Yes.
exciting show. I'm excited.
Wait, it's the soup or bowl. We're talking about food and plateware. We can't say the other word because we don't want to get in trouble. We're
Can't.
saying soup or a bowl.
Hey, speaking of food, what's your favorite soup or bowl food? What do you like? What were you munching on Sunday?
Okay, so I did a collection of munching because I went to my neighbor's house for a little pregame, and then I went to a friend's house for the actual game. And in both of those instances, it was my weight in chicken wings because that's my number one. If there's football, if there's a football sport game on the TV, I need to have chicken wings, and I am
Good
not.
thing to have. Yeah.
I'm not a picky person when it comes to flavors. Obviously, I come from a Caribbean background, so spice is nothing to me. So I like them hot. I'm also a fan of the lemon pepper. Give me some spicy teriyaki and dark horse Parmesan garlic.
Ooh,
Can't go wrong with that flavor.
you might be the first person I've ever met that actively or says out loud admits to liking Parmesan garlic chicken wings. Maybe I just don't have a lot of friends that's possible.
It's a secret one. Not a lot of people are going to admit to it, but those are flavors that people can get behind. And in all honesty, while I was saying that, my mouth started drooling. The saliva started kicking up a notch. So
Mine did
I had
too.
that.
When you mentioned the teriyaki, I was like, that's actually one of my favorite special wings too, is the teriyaki. I can't get enough of those. Get enough of those bad boys. Those are good.
But here's the kicker: we're in the South. We're in South Carolina. We're from the South. when we say barbecue, that's low and slow. Other places they say barbecue, that just means to them they're putting something on the grill. No, that's grilling.
Yeah.
In the South, when we say barbecue, that means we're low and slow, we're smoking something. And we definitely did that. So, all my friends and I, we have some kind of smoker, whether it's a pellet grill that smokes, a big green egg, or a traditional smoker side by side, that sort of thing. So we did had a guy bring in venison backstrap, and then that is venison is deer, so
Yeah.
strap on the back of the deer, cut up in chunks, smoked, doused in barbecue sauce, brown sugar, smoked again.
Oh, brown
it is
sugar in the
tender,
barbecue
it's
sauce.
juicy, it's barbecuey, sweet, savory, all the different things. Had some of that. I had obviously dips of all kinds, Parmesan, jalapeno poppers. I mean, you name it, it was part of the spread. And of course, all was washed down with a nice cold beer. Or
You have to, yeah,
whatever. And then maybe a couple little tanks of some bourbon. So
you are, yeah. I can see you putting a little bourbon after that, a good meal like that. I think that goes nicely. What is it? You still got that same drink? What are you drinking today?
Yeah, this is the
Jamaican one.
This is the Jamaican dram.
Yeah.
This is my go-to. This is, and again, it's still not completely. It's not warmed up here. And by warmed up, if it's below 70, it's cold for me. So it's currently below 70. My toes are cold. I got to keep them warm, and this is the best way to warm them up.
Below 70 is cold. That's what you're saying. I got
South,
news.
Baby.
I got news for you. So you mentioned the smoking of the barbecue. We saw on national TV a smoking. That's for sure.
Yes.
And we'll get to the game. We're gonna get to the recap real shortly. But I have a question for you.
Yeah. Shoot.
The mustache.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's from a certain bet that was made last week. Is that right?
Kind of, sort of. So
okay, I wanted to get to the bottom of this because I thought you'd chosen differently, but yeah, give us the spiel there on the mustache.
All right, so the idea was I did pick the Eagles, and then I did pick them to destroy this cover. I think I said that they were gonna. I think my prediction was like 35-27. It was like over a touchdown spread there, and everybody was like, "Yeah, you're stupid." No, it's the Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes, and the referees, and Andy Reid, and yet I was right. So I didn't shave the mustache for being right. I did shave the mustache. One, football is now over. This is my mourning period. I have to adjust my face to the new year and the upcoming spring. So I wanted to give my chin a little bit of breathing room.
It does look like an Andy Reid mustache. It really does.
And secretly, I think I did a little bit of this too because I did win most of my parlays from Super Bowl Sunday. So maybe this is kind of a celebratory, congratulatory type of mustache. Just
so you shaved it
on the back
after the game, though, not before the game.
Yes, I shaved it randomly this week. If you notice, I got a haircut.
Yeah, I see you.
I trimmed up. Yeah. So it was kind of just update the face. Make sure that my wife thinks I'm still good looking. If she does not, but maybe it's a lost hope.
Our very own Buster Clarkson, looking fresh, looking trim,
indeed,
looking great for his wonderful wife. I'm excited. So to talk about the Super Bowl, we got a really great show today. We're going to talk all about the Super Bowl. A couple of Gamecocks we're going to celebrate too. That also won a finger, one for their fingers. So happy for them. We'll mention them shortly.
Congrats to them.
I think you and I had different Super Bowl experiences. You had the barbecue, you had the bourbon, you had the beer. I had the beer. I had a little bit of Modelo's, but
there you go.
The snow was hitting here in New York, and it wasn't the kind of snow that's like you can walk
fun
through.
Snow.
It wasn't
not fun snow.
Okay. It was like 2 inches on the ground, immediately frozen, and then the sleet came, and it was gross, slushy. Yeah. So I ended up staying. Didn't want to go to any parties or anything because getting around the city is already a hassle, right? And then add in the weather. The crazies for some reason come out when the weather comes out, like here in the city. So I didn't want to try. We got the congestion bill going on. I didn't want to get a cab or an Uber. So I was just like, let's just stay with stay at my girlfriend's place, and we ordered Thai food. That was our Super Bowl.
Ooh,
that was our Super Bowl.
Okay. Hey, listen, good. I am not afraid to enjoy some Thai, and I like it. Yes, I do like it Thai spicy. I don't like it American spicy or white people spicy. I like it Thai spicy. I
Thai
want that thing
spicy.
blazing.
Oh, wait, you
But
know what? I'm mistaken. Actually, we ordered the Thai food on Saturday. That's what we did because it was so gross out. On Sunday, I made Mexican bowl. That's what I did. I had
oh,
ground
very
beef.
good. Yeah.
I steamed up some rice. And then I cut up some peppers and some onions and some other stuff and then oil. And we had some spinach on there and some salsa. It was delicious, man. It's really good.
Oh, I like that.
It was kind of a Super Bowl vibe. So actually, I did kind of have a Super Bowl meal a little bit.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this. Super Bowl Sunday here, it was 78 degrees. People were wearing shorts. It was sunny.
God, that's a dream.
I had a cigar as well. We sat on back patios with the fire going. The fire wasn't for warmth; it was more for visual. And just saying that you can build a fire on your patio while you're smoking meats is just, the greatest thing that ever happened.
You gotta have a fire on in the Super Bowl. You just have to.
Yeah.
That's a
So
no-brainer.
my proposal to you is this: when you get tired of that sleet and slush and not having to move around, there are some beautiful houses in my area, and there will always be a unlimited amount of beer and smoked meats available to you if you ever decide to partake in a journey down south for a football season or for more of a longer term residence.
We're gonna have to. It's football season's definitely gonna happen. I already got friends in Charleston trying to get me down there as well. So you never know what the future might hold, especially if this cold and disgusting sleet holds up the way it does. I miss that 78-degree weather.
Listen, I'll tell all the businesses around here if they need an intern podcast host that is exceptional in every way, I got a guy for them.
You got a guy. I hope that guy's me. I appreciate it because exceptional and intern podcast hosts aren't necessarily my go-tos. But let's talk about the Super Bowl. Let's talk about this beatdown.
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
Eagles dominated 40-22. Ended the Chiefs three-peat bid. Jalen Hurts looking amazing in the postseason.
Amazing.
I mean, he's been crushing in the postseason. It's not just this year, his entire career. He wins the MVP. He goes 17-22, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air, 72 yards rushing on the ground. Pretty much could just do whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Along with the Eagles defense, the other big storyline, 6 sacks, 3 forced and 3 turnovers. Cooper DeJean, everyone knows that story. It was his birthday, gets a pick 6. Yep. And congrats to a couple Gamecocks that were on the Eagles squad. Tight end Nick Muse, we'll get to more on him later. Some really funny stuff. And wide receiver E.J. Jenkins. So great Gamecocks getting some rings with the Philadelphia Eagles. Social media videos of Eagles fans destroying their city was the highlight of my Monday. I loved it. That was amazing. But getting back to the game, Buster, what do you think? What's more accurate statement? Did the Eagles win or did the Chiefs lose?
Ooh, if you could pick both, you would, only in the sense of this is one of those maybe I would say chicken and egg type of thing. Only in the idea of did the Eagles win because the Chiefs lost, or did the Chiefs lose because the Eagles won? And I will frame it like this. Going into our preview last week, I said that the key to the game is whether or not Saquon is going to Saquon all over everybody like he did prior in the NFC Championship divisional round.
Yeah.
And then obviously through the regular season. And I was wondering if he could do that against a Chiefs defense that has been pretty stout up front with your leaders like Chris Jones and Karlaftis and all those guys. It wasn't Saquon that was the advantage. It was the Eagles defense that was the advantage. Yeah. The level of aggression that I saw out of their defense, especially from that front four, with your Jordan Davis and Jalen Carters and those linebackers. Remember, Nakobe Dean was the middle linebacker for a while. He was out injured. God, I can't remember the guy that stepped up for him, but he did fantastic. Cooper DeJean, obviously, in the secondary with that.
Was that Sweat? Are you thinking of Sweat? It
was Montez Sweat.
Yeah.
Those guys. That was, we can say Jalen outplayed Mahomes and Travis Kelce. I think Jalen had a better day than Patrick Mahomes. But I think that's because Patrick Mahomes was either on his butt or running for his life because of that Eagles defense. And I think because of that, the offense that has been lauded for the connection between Mahomes and Kelsey and Xavier Worthy down the field and guys like Juju. Um, that was stopped. Like Andy Reid, a phenomenal elite Hall of Fame coach. I love that guy. I have a lot of respect. He could not find the answer to that defense. That defense smothering Patrick Mahomes, I think, is what gave the Eagles such a dominating victory. And because of that, I will say the Chiefs lost because the Eagles won.
They seem
What about
I like your chicken or egg comparison immediately. I was like, yeah, that's actually a really good way to say it because it almost felt like they fed off of each other a little bit, right? The more that Kansas City, it's like quicksand almost, like watching
you? Yeah,
quicksand a little bit. My inkling is that I want to say the Eagles won because it looked like they did exactly what they it's like what Mike Tyson used to say, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth,
oh,
right?
great. Yes.
And,
Good.
and
Good
it looked
analogy. I like that one.
exactly like that. Now I thought I thought we were gonna be the show was gonna go in a different direction after the very first we'll say questionable offensive pass interference
Yes.
on
Yep.
that fourth down.
Yep.
You could argue that there was a makeup call maybe on the next drive, and
Yep.
maybe there was, but I think the officiating actually took a back seat in the rest of the game and let them play,
Thank God.
which
Thank
was great
God.
because I did not want to see a lot of flags. I
No.
think it was the Eagles that won it, and the reason why is because Jalen Hurts is such a stud.
Okay. Yep.
I think that's what it is. We saw some infighting with the receiver, like with him and the receivers. He didn't seem to care. He shrugged it off in the media. He strikes me as someone who's completely like cool, calm, and composed in every situation known to like on the field, off the field. He seems like a genuine dude. In 9 playoff games, he's got 1,813 passing touchdowns, 10 passing touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. That's just passing. And then he did it
Yeah.
on the ground too. That drive in the what was it, in the third quarter where they were kind of running out the clock and he was just running it like he did good. And I like the point that Saquon didn't necessarily beat the Chiefs, right? So you were kind of, in your prediction last week, you weren't necessarily wrong because 25, he touched the ball a lot of times, and so that's a pretty big distraction, right? So it opens up these guys like Jackson. It opens up these guys, like Brown, Deshaun Jackson, Brown and Smith. I'm just dropping names left and right here, like an idiot. And Dallas Goedert, it opens up options for them, and Hurts obviously, and that offensive line is just
I mean that's the if you want to like pick individual talents, like AJ Brown played lights out. I love what he did. Dallas Goedert, outplayed Travis Kelce from the tight end position, and we'll get into more of that later. I actually have a question for you regarding Kelce, but I think what helped. And you're right. Like the idea that if the defense played as elite as they did, as I was saying, that allows the offense to be more free in what they did. And using Saquon, not necessarily as a decoy, because Saquon's not a decoy.
No, that was a bad word to use.
Knowing Saquon's talent, the Chiefs were obviously probably keying up on stopping Saquon's running ability. Well, that means then you have a guy like Lane Johnson and on the opposite end, 6'8", 365-pound Mailata. Apologies if I don't say his name properly, but those two guys anchoring that offensive line, and then you have the ability of the guys in the middle. There was a reason why the tush push had been successful for the last couple of years, but their blocking, pass pro, all that was so good that it allowed Jalen Hurts to be in complete control of his game and be able to be in complete control of that offense. And so that's why you saw 40 points coming out of the Eagles offense against a Chiefs defense that everybody's like, oh man, that defensive line is elite. Chris Jones is one of the best in the game, and he is. But when you go up against that offensive line and a quarterback that is determined to be successful, then you're going to put up 40 points. So, circling back though, here's my thing. One of the things that we saw, and this goes to that Eagles won or Chiefs loss, one of the reasons that the Chiefs lost, Travis Kelce was non-existent outside of his girlfriend getting booed, which people are freaking out about that. She's a Chiefs fan, and dude, Philly booed Santa. So quit
Yeah.
making a big deal about it. Like they'll boo everyone. They will boo like all the people in the Bible if they have to. So yeah,
They
that's not a big
boo
deal.
everyone that they fear but
Yeah,
they're I mean they got some passionate fans, man. I mean,
yeah.
but
That's
they
what that's
boo
what makes
everyone.
Philly. That's what makes Philly special. But Kelsey was non-existent in this game. And whether it was because Mahomes didn't have time to get him the ball, whether the play calling and the identity of the game, the flow of the game, didn't allow them to set up a rhythm with Kelsey. The fact is, he didn't get the ball. He's their most popular playmaker. He has made plays in the past. He has been the outlet and the backup and the clutch guy for Mahomes. Is Kelsey done? Is are we past his prime?
Ooh,
Is he no
that's
longer like the main guy now?
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions on that Casey offense now, right? Because they're getting older. That's a great question on Kelsey. I don't think he's made a decision yet, and I think he's actually going to take a lot of time to decide because that sounds like a guy who might be done. Maybe he gives it another year, but certainly his production's on the decline. I don't think it has anything to do other than age, right? Like he's just like, guys are so much faster and so much stronger than him right now. But he is like he's got the will of like I hate to say the will of the warrior, but he's got that
Yeah,
will and he's got that drive. Um, I think that he will give it one more year and then hang it up.
yeah.
That would be my prediction.
That's a great. I mean, again, this is no. I mean, he has been an elite tight end. Like you put him of our recent tight ends, you put him up there with like your George Kittles and like heck, from back in the day, Antonio Gates and Tony Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, yeah,
Like
all those
he has
KGs, yeah.
been, and that was the thing is he has been a focal point of that offense, and it has done wonderful things. Like when you talk about like the prototypical tight end that can make plays offensively, but also block and be their guy for their quarterback. He has been that, but he's 35 years old.
Yeah.
Um, he is in the league now with guys that are 10 years younger than him that are bigger, stronger, and faster. And who knows what the future may hold for the tight end position because these guys coming out of college are freak athletes. So yeah, I agree with you. I think it's he's got a year, but I don't think this next year. Let's say if it's 1 year left, this next year the role that you have always imagined Travis Kelsey is having is not going to be the same role he plays next year. Right?
Right.
It's not going to be based on production. You're not picking Travis Kelsey in the first 3 rounds of your fantasy draft. So, I totally get that. And that's a great answer because you don't want to necessarily say he's not good anymore. No one should say that about an elite tight end, but he's past his prime.
Yeah, and I think there could be this also could be kind of a microcosm of the league in general and football in general, not just the league, but college football, high school football is, it's very cyclical. We see a lot of different schemes and different, uh, you know, coaching schemes, strategies, kind of come through every, 10 years or so before the means regress back to the average, right? So what I mean by that is for 5 to 6, 7 years, we had maybe even the decade, the 2010s to about 2020, we had, quarterbacks throwing for 5,000 yards. We had receivers for like 2,000 yards, close to 2,000 yards with Antonio Brown. Like we had these massive offensive games. I think we're right in the middle of the shift going back to defense. And I think that
Yeah,
kind of does not bode well for Travis Kelsey, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
If
No,
that
I
makes
totally
sense.
get that. Would you say that would be your? I mean, so obviously, what is your biggest takeaway? Like, I like the idea of highlighting Kelsey's decline, and again, I don't want to say decline in such a way of career decline, just a declination in his role in the offense for especially the Super Bowl. But would that be your takeaway? Is there anything else that popped in?
I think so. I think my takeaway is kind of that. Like it's that it does seem to be that we're re-entering the defensive. We're starting to see a shift. And college football is the same way. Scoring's down, right? And I think we're
Yeah,
starting to see a shift back to the defensive side of the ball. Hell, I mean, like the top picks are always are defensive linemen and pass rushers, and I think Now we're going to see a lot of defensive linemen drafted this year in the first round. Maybe even our boy.
Yeah.
He might go in the first round. I think he probably.
I mean, it's not even it's a weak quarterback class.
It is, yeah.
So
So
I
think
like that.
I think that's my biggest takeaway, just from not just maybe that Super Bowl, but also I'm also kind of encompassing the entire season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess like one of the things that stood out to me was that another thing was that 46-yard touchdown pass in the third quarter. I think that's when I was like, this game is over. When was your game over moment?
So there was not a singular play or moment that said game over. But to me, from a football scientist side of things, looking at kind of the game inside the game,
Mhm.
when I saw that Mahomes was struggling at the quarterback position, taking the sacks, throwing the interceptions, as a whole, that the Eagles' defense, if you remember against Buffalo in the AFC Championship game, there was the one thing at the end of the game. We were there was the last play. I think Kansas City had a fourth down. We're like, all right, if Buffalo can get the stop, they get about like 50 seconds left and try to get down and score. Blah blah blah.
Yep, I remember that down near the Kansas City goal line.
Patty Mahomes, drops back. He's scrambling, and then he makes the throw for the first down, and it's a bullet. And they were always able to make the play and extend their ability to win the game. I knew it was over when you saw the Chiefs offense not be able to do that and not even make conversions early in the game. And you're seeing Mahomes taking very physical sacks, and you're seeing him make terrible throws and interceptions that normally he wouldn't make, especially in the middle of the game like that.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, as soon as I started seeing that pattern shift where that defense became elite and the Chiefs offense was not as efficient and getting the plays they wanted, that's when I knew it was over.
Yeah, I kind of had that feeling too. Like they just couldn't stop. Like it was kind of like it was just like snowball, kind of gradually, kind of going against them. I see what you're saying there. With the game, so you want to do something fun? I got four. No, we're gonna do 3 quick fire questions here.
Let's do it.
And I'm gonna ask you. All right. So
all right.
Here's the first one. There's a Super Bowl flu. 22.6 million Americans took off on Monday, according to The Hill. Buster,
holy crap!
Buster, did you go into work on Monday?
Yes. So I went into work late. I was able, and I say that only I started work that morning, but I was able to work from home. I took care of a couple of emails, things like that. Knocked out stuff that I could do at home, but I did end up going into the office later on that morning. Worked a full day. Did not have my Super Bowl flu. I did struggle. Wings and beer do not pair well for the next morning, but
they
get it done. I have a big conference this upcoming weekend for work, so I had to do a lot of preparation work this week. So yes, I went into work.
Congratulations, you were better than 22.6 million Americans.
Yes.
Next rapid fire Buster question: what was your favorite Super Bowl commercial?
Tostino's pizza rolls. First of all, Tostino's pizza rolls. Absolutely love those things.
Another thing that'll destroy your toilet the next morning.
Exactly.
Yes.
That is comfort food to the extreme for me. I will always go towards a Tostino's pizza roll or a bagel bite. One of the two. But that commercial with Tim Robinson and what is the other guy's name? Why am I blanking on it? I gotta look it up. Sam Richardson. There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Those two guys with Chasmo the Alien, and if you get a chance, if you go on social media, you can see some more. They did either outtakes or additional little funny commercials where they're very apropos for a Tim Robinson type of comedy. Those things had me rolling on the ground laughing. So favorite commercial was Totino's Pizza Rolls. Shout out to my favorite little snack.
I love Totino's Pizza Rolls too. There's real quick. There's kind of like. Tim Robinson's got a few shows on few specials on Netflix right now. The one that I'm thinking of is like I Think You Should Leave, I think is the name of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Some when he's dressed as a hot dog and he drives into the store.
Yeah.
I love that scene. He's like, we don't know who it is, and he's like he drives the hot dog mobile. If anybody wants to watch it, high comedy with Tim Robinson, and I think it's the first episode of I Think You Should
Yeah,
Leave.
no, I think you should leave. Detroiters with Sam Richardson is also absolutely hilarious. You
I've heard
guys
that's
got to
pretty
check
good.
it out.
I've heard that's pretty
Yeah,
good too.
it's freaking hilarious. I
I
love it.
uh I've come to he's kind of grown on me a little bit. Both those guys. Well, I do like Sam Richardson, but Tim Robinson he's really grown on me a little bit.
I
Number
didn't do
three.
shit.
Yeah, he's dressed as a hot dog. He's like, we don't know who it is. Let me just take this clothing and I'm gonna go, okay? All right. Final one. Give us a rate. So I don't. You can use whatever rating system you're comfortable with. You want to use the
Yeah,
5-star, you go for it. You want to use 1 through 10, whatever you want to do. Yeah, you want to do, apples and oranges. I don't care. But rate Nick Muse chugging against Saquon Barkley.
ooh.
So
All
we're
right.
gonna
So
we're gonna post this video. If you guys are watching on YouTube, we're gonna post that up there for you so you can see Nick Muse, former Gamecock tight end, who's now on I believe he's on the I think he was actually on the roster, right? Like he
yeah, he
wasn't on
was
the
on the
practice
roster. I
he
think he
wasn't on the
started
practice
with the
squad.
practice squad,
Yeah,
and then I think he got elevated.
like a week before.
Sometime, yeah.
It was very recent, but he's going up against Saquon Barkley, and let's just say he maybe he didn't chug in college. Rate that chugging right there by Nick Muse.
Nick, you're a Gamecock. I appreciate everything you've done for me. We're gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I've seen very bad um, chugging ability from a lot of people that act like they're badasses, and then yet they can barely take a sip of anything. So I'm gonna go for 4 stars.
Four stars. 4 stars. Saquon owns him, by the way. Saquon
Yeah,
absolutely owns him.
yeah.
So if you guys check that out, Nick, you don't even see Nick until I didn't even know it was him until the end. I think somebody else tweeted it, and then he had to replay it on his like, oh yeah, that's me, because you don't know who if Saquon's even chugging against someone, and you find out it's former stud gate tight end uh Nick Muse there, unfortunately. So
I mean, the thing is, I say 4 stars only in the idea that A for effort, as I used to always say. Like,
yeah.
you know, at
Hey,
least you're doing the Lord's work by, at least celebrating. So,
I'm
we'll
happy.
go with that.
I'm just happy he won himself a ring with former Gamecock won himself a ring. So that's going to end our rapid fire questions. Buster, you got anything else that's weighing on your mind from the Super Bowl?
I think the last thing I want to say is the halftime show. If you want a masterclass on how to subtly take a dig at your opponent and make it subtle, but yet not subtle on a national stage, and that everybody just realize that you just body bagged your opponent
Yes.
for the rest of the longevity of planet Earth, then I would say rewatch the Kendrick Lamar halftime show, because what he did completely eviscerated Drake, and I loved it. I will say I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan. I've always been a hip hop head, and not only did he play the hits, but man, he knew exactly what he was doing.
And he
So,
and he, and he got Serena in there to crip walk too.
oh
Serena
yeah,
Serena she got some moves, man. She was killing. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. She's a phenomenal athlete. Well, probably the greatest tennis player of all time. And it's like, and she's out there crip walking. She looks like she could probably still play another
oh
five
yeah,
years.
yeah.
She
I mean, that's the thing is like you get a Drake's former ex girlfriend, tennis great Serena Williams, to crip walk. Now, granted, she is from Compton, so it's not like it's completely random. You get that smirk smile on his face when he knew what he was doing, and people were questioning whether or not he was going to play "Not Like Us," and yet he came out strong with that.
and
Yeah,
and then getting the entire Superdome to say A minor. Like
exactly.
which we know
So
that's a reference to a note and nothing else, right? Absolutely
yes,
nothing else. Just a
exactly.
note. Just a note.
Musical note, but
Just a musical note.
shout out to Kendrick Lamar, Chef's Kiss, baby.
And shout out to an absolutely wonderful football season. I had a really great time, both college and NFL. I think this was probably one of the most fun seasons I've seen on both the college and football level. I thought the playoffs were great. I thought the college football playoffs were amazing. Super Bowl ended up great because I did pull for the Eagles. At the end of the day, I was like, I got to pull for the Eagles. I don't want the Chiefs to get a three-peat. And so I was kind of happy with the result. I love seeing the people of Philadelphia celebrate the way they did. Congrats to the Eagles. Congrats to you on a wonderful mustache, Buster. Excellent job today. You always do a great job.
No, excellent job to you as the intern host. And yeah, no, shout out to an amazing football season. I will miss you, football season. I will struggle mightily for the next couple of months. I will enjoy some baseball. I am a baseball head. I am a sports fanatic, so I do enjoy all sports. I'm looking forward to NBA All-Star Weekend, things like that. But football is where my heart is, and I miss you.
And that's going to wrap up our show, guys. Thank you so much for listening. You can continue to like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Well done, Buster. Thanks again for your time. Tune in every Monday and Thursday for new episodes of the Alumni Game podcast. That's going to wrap us for Alumni
Game!
Cox!
Game!
Cox!
There.